I was not attracted to him. I didn't think he was cute. I thought he was actually ugly. I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to say that because I don't like calling people ugly.
Right.
Because then I didn't think he was attractive to me. It was like, my auntie was actually thought she actually thought he was cute.
Welcome to the Hoe-busters Podcast, y'all. I'm your host, Derry Michelle, and today we have a super special guest named Ashianna, and y'all are not going to believe how we connected, okay? So this is the young lady that I've been talking about for weeks now, who was recently dating my ex-husband, and yes, I'm talking the ex-husband that inspired this beautiful podcast, Hoe-busters, all right? So I'll get into that a little bit more once we get this interview going, but she is just such a super sweet girl, and she has a hell of a story to share about her experience dating my narcissistic ex-husband, and I am grateful that she's joining us to chop it up tonight. She will be able to fully corroborate so many things that I've shared in so many different episodes through season 1 of Hoe-busters Podcast. And so this is for any of you out there who thought all this time I was lying, over exaggerating just for clout. Get ready to hear her story, all right? So let's dive in for this final episode of Hoe-busters season 1, y'all. So welcome, Ashianna. How you doing, honey?
I'm doing great, Miss Derry. How are you?
I am doing good. I know we had a little bit of a trouble getting on tonight and trying to connect, but we are going to make this happen. All right. I do have some questions for you, and then we'll try to just get right into it. So, Adriana, why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of your geographic journey, where you're from? You don't have to necessarily tell where you live currently, but just at least tell us, about some of your background and where you come from.
So I at first, Miss Derry. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I am from a little small country town. I really don't wish to name it. My hometown, it doesn't have the best story because it's known for a lot of crazy stuff. Everybody know everybody. So I originally moved to Charlotte, North Carolina up until about a year and a half ago.
So you basically were raised for the most part in Charlotte, North Carolina area.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your dating experiences, and if dealing with my ex-husband was your first time dealing with a narcissistic personality.
No, he was not the first one, but I tell you this much, he was the last. I've had quite a few. Like, I'm trying to see because I know I've been with a lot of narcissists. Like, not to sound like a hoe or nothing, but
Right.
I've been with quite a few.
Okay.
So I got
wasn't
pregnant by one.
first.
Right. I got pregnant by a narcissist. It was very bad. Like, he just had my mind in places where it should not have been, and that was the absolute worst. Like, he was telling me lies, and when you really love somebody, it's like you want to believe the good and see the good in them so bad, but
Oh yeah.
okay, this isn't right. This isn't true. I know what they're telling me isn't true, but you just find that little grain of, I guess, hope or belief.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up having a miscarriage because that's how bad the relationship was.
I'm sorry to
It was
hear
very
that.
Thank you. I ended up losing my child behind that, and it was kind of like a domino effect for me of narcissistic relationships. I mean, I've never been like physically abused, but yeah, I have had mental abuse from narcissists before. It just destroyed me as a person. It made me look at myself different. It made me feel like maybe some of this stuff this person is telling me is true. Like I felt insecure. It was just bad. And when I think about it, it takes my mind to a place where I don't ever want to go back to.
Oh, I can understand for sure. I mean, dealing with a narcissistic person, the trauma, the emotional and psychological abuse that you're suffering while you're dealing with them is something I truly wouldn't wish on anybody. So why don't you tell us about how you and the ex-husband, we'll call him, actually met and linked up?
I met him. He was standing on the corner. He had a sign that said, "We'll clean your house for food." I'm like, okay, you know what? I need let me see if, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm out here going bad, man. I'm going through this, man. I clean up, just I'm like, okay.
You silly. Lord have mercy. I hope he ain't down that bad now.
I was just kidding. Okay, I'm so sorry. That was just a little joke. Okay. So my grandmother, she got sick, and this was back in 2023.
Okay.
She got sick at the 2023, and she had to go to the hospital. So when she got discharged from the hospital, she had to have oxygen. I used to always crack it up with her, like, Grandma, you just had to have oxygen because, if she didn't need oxygen, I wouldn't have never met him.
Right.
So they sent him out there. And when he came out there, I didn't like him at first. I will say this: I was very mesmerized by his height because he was so tall. I mean, like, I'm short. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking up at him like, damn, you tall. So, I asked him, did you play sports in high school and stuff like that? He was like, no, I never played sports. And
He actually told you the truth, girl. He told me he played basketball and football in high school. What a mess. Go ahead. Just go. I mean, he told me this for years. His friends had to tell him, like, no, he never played fucking basketball. What is he talking about? But that's crazy. Go ahead.
okay, because I was just thinking, by his height, I would have guessed if not football, at least basketball, because he was so
Right.
tall. So
Yeah.
I asked him, like, did you play any sports in high school? He was like, no, I never played any sports. I was like, oh. I asked him, let me see one of your hands compared to mine. And he did this. I mean, his hand compared to mine, my hand like a baby hand compared to his. Because when he did this, I said, let me see one of your hands. He did that his hands was big, like, oh my God. So he did this. And I did this, and my hand was so small compared to his. So
that's funny.
I don't know. Maybe in his mind, he was like, "Yeah, she want me. She want me."
Oh, yep, that's all just a tiny window opening, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in there."
And that's the thing too, because when I first saw him, I was not attracted to him. I didn't think he was cute. I thought he was actually ugly. I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to say that because I don't like calling people ugly.
Right.
Then I didn't think he was attractive to me. It was like, my auntie was actually she actually thought he was cute. My aunt was like, what a tall, fine man, whatever she said, where'd he go? I said, ew. I said he went out.
That's too bad. I'm telling you, it's like older ladies always had something for him. His mother even talk about, like, when he was younger, like, it was always these older ladies, like, oh, he's handsome. Like, y'all can have him.
Yeah, so he and that's the thing too. My auntie, she in her early 50s, but she don't look like it though. Like, she really don't. Talking about the dude who looked like he had no bath. He went outside. He went out there. He outside. So she was like, girl, he is fine. So a couple of days later, I'm trying to learn I knew how to set up my grandmother's oxygen machine. It's just that I made a mistake. So, the little tube that connects to the machine, I had accidentally put it into the wrong port. And when I did, water was shooting up through the tube. So I'm like, man, I don't want to mess up her machine anymore. And she needed her oxygen. She just got a pacemaker done. So I'm like, man, let me call these people so they can come out here and fix it or, show me how to do it properly. They sent him back out there. So got a knock at the door. And this could have been prevented. Cancel the appointment. I figured out how to fix my grandma's oxygen machine. So, y'all can cancel.
Right.
So that next morning, get a knock at the door. And at first, okay, he knocked 2 times. He didn't say nothing. So, me, I'm a jokester. So I said, if you don't knock, I'm not letting you in. So who is it? So he was like, he announced the name of his company that he works for. So he would always give my grandma extra stuff, like always extra, the little cups that go on there. Like, I always give her extra stuff. So like I said, I'm a jokester. I'm playing, we're talking, laughing, cracking jokes. He laughing like he ain't never laughed before. And then
just laid it on thick.
Right. And I mean real thick too.
Oh, I know. I know. He's so charming when you first meet him. It's amazing. You'll never get that type of charm from him ever again. But it's nice to experience it once, right?
Right. So he asked for my number. And I I'm playing with him. I said, don't be calling me harassing messages. If you call me harassing messages, I'm going to block you. I gave him my number. And he didn't waste no time. Like, time he got back to the car, he texted my phone.
Wow.
And yeah, like he was like, "Hey, this such and such." Then he started with the compliments. When this man seen me, the first time he saw me, I had been in the hospital with my grandma taking care of her. So I had on a plain white t-shirt, some black pants, and my hair was down and stuff. So he just was calling me beautiful and all of that. And then the second time he saw me, I had a bonnet on my head, black t-shirt, my white pajama shorts.
Okay.
That's what I had on. So he was like, "Oh, you so sexy. You just so beautiful." And I'm like, all right, okay. This man seen me 2 times, and both times he's seen me, it's like, I'm not gonna say I look, it's not, to the point where you would say, "Oh, dang, she fine, she's sexy."
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how we met. So we started talking. Like I said, he was a charmer. First time I met him, this man didn't display nothing was wrong with him at all. He seemed like he was fine. He had it all together. He told me, he didn't tell me until I think a couple days after we started talking that he was going through a divorce. That's what he told me. If he would have told me in the beginning when I first gave him my number and he was like, "Hey, I'm going through a divorce," he would have never got my number. Because for one, you coming out of a divorce, you're not trying to heal, you're not working on healing, you're trying to just jump, back into
From
something.
one situation to the next. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Seriously.
you're not even working on yourself. So he didn't tell me that part, and that part did piss me off. And I could have sworn I asked him, but he was talking to me. When we was in my grandma's living room, I asked him did he had kids. I thought he said no, but when I texted him and asked him, he said, "Yeah, I got 2 kids." And I told him, I thought you said you didn't have any kids. He was like, "No, that's not what I said. I told you I
That's
had 2 kids."
crazy.
So it's that part always kind of bothered me.
You started seeing the signs early. Like, I used to catch him back in the day, like right after I had my son. He wouldn't tell people he just had a baby. He'd only talk about my daughter, like, "Oh, I got a daughter." And that used to make me so mad. Like, you just had a whole baby boy. Why would you not mention we just had a son a few weeks ago? Or especially around that time when I caught him with all the women after I had my son. But that's wild though. So he basically was talking up a good game with you. Now, was he trying to sell you the dream? Like, "Oh, you're going to be my woman." Like, did you see yourself kind of in a situation with him long term after you guys initially started talking?
I did. That man sold me a dream and I bought it so quick.
Tell me what that was like.
Oh, God. He, even though it wasn't a long time, but it was bad because he destroyed. I said I was not gonna cry.
No.
My skin. Everybody, like family members, everybody know my skin and my hair is something that I cherish a lot. Like I'm very big on my skin and my hair. When I first met him, my skin was so clear. I didn't have no spots, bumps. I didn't have nothing on my face. My skin was very, very beautiful, clear. And when I started dealing with him, my skin started breaking out. I didn't realize that it was because I was stressing out over him. I told him I was starting to fall in love with him. And let me back up a little bit. So in the beginning, when me and him started talking, he made himself seem like he was okay. Like he hid himself so well. And now when I think back on this shit, it's scary how good he hid himself. What was really going on with him.
Right.
So when I first started talking to him, like he was happy, smiling, charming, Then it's like after we went to bed that first time, this is when he started showing, this is me. This is who I am. I'm gonna give you a little sneak preview of who I really am.
Right.
So he just started showing me, and I'm like, and I even asked him too. I said, "Listen, let me ask you a question. I'm asking you right here, right now. Be honest. Are you sure that you're able?" And I still got receipts on everything I'm saying. I'm not gonna mention it without no proof. I mean, like, yeah, some stuff we did talk about face to face, but most of the stuff that I'm saying, I got receipts on this shit. So he can't ever be like, "That never happened, man."
Because he sure will deny it. I've had to keep receipts. I still got receipts too, girl.
Right, because don't play. I asked him, "Are you sure that you're ready to, deal with me, start talking to me, because you're going through a divorce? That's real." And then he told me how long y'all was married. So it's like, dang, man, it went for a little while. This is like, we're talking about what, 2 decades? Like
almost, yeah.
Yeah, and I asked him, I said, are you sure? Are you positive? He was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm almost, on this way out of the situation, and I just want you to just, stick by me and stuff like that." And I'm like, okay, all right, okay. So, I believe him and stuff. And I told him he was mine and all of that. And yeah.
Oh, I hate that for you. So what kind of details was he giving you about the divorce? What kind of things was he saying about it?
What wasn't he saying about it is the question.
Right.
I know every time, like as I said, when we first was intimate after that first time, that's when a lot of stuff started coming out. He started showing that he was having such a bad mental breakdown and he going through this and he going through that. And I'm like, didn't I ask your tall, stinking ass, were you sure you were ready to deal with me, even though you're going through divorce? You said yes. Now, after I done, we done been intimate, now you showing me, you breaking down, my ex-wife, she doing this, she doing that, she trying to take my kids from me, she doing this, doing that, and she keep every time I try to hold my head up, here she come. Every time I had something playing with my kids, she always interrupting what me and my kids got going on. Like, he was always
crazy.
Starting to get on my nerve after a while because Miss Derry, I text this man and ask him how he was doing. First he would say, not good. Ask him why. You were the reason why he was not doing good. Every time after we messed around that first time, that second time, he started with this whole, my ex, man, she getting on my nerve, man. Like, she just doing this and doing that. Every time I try to hold my head up, here she come. This shit, it got so played out because it's like, damn, every time I talk to you, it's always your ex-wife doing something to you. And I find it real strange now that you just not doing it. And then so it really pissed me off really bad. Like, all kind of thoughts went through my head when I told him that I was starting to fall in love with him. This gonna tell me talking about some, well, I don't know what I could be to you.
Oh my God. That's so crazy. Such a red flag too. And something I find as I'm dating out here, if someone is always making reference to their ex-wife or like ex-girlfriend, whatever, why you gotta always be bringing this person up? Why are they always on your mind? Why are they still so deeply into your energy? This is ridiculous. Like, you got to make sure you over these people because the next person does not want to deal with that. They don't want to hear the stories. They don't want to hear, oh, they done piss me off and oh, we're texting, we're fighting about this. That's got to be so freaking annoying. I can only imagine.
Yeah, like it was. He would tell me like, maybe if y'all's daughter, maybe having a bad day or something like that, he would, say, well, he made sure that he was gonna destroy your character by any means necessary.
What kind of things would he say?
I'm sorry, Miss Derry.
Oh no, it's so good. Trust me, I've got pretty thick skin over here.
So there was a situation where the son was sick, and I asked him. I said, I said, well, did you take his temperature? Stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, I did, but it's their mama fault. They sick. Every time she's sending to me, she always sending them with
Crocs and socks on.
Yeah, Crocs and t-shirts. And then he said that every time they have something planned, you always ruining their plans. And then he said how your kids would say, oh, mom don't never cook for us. Thank you so much, daddy, for cooking for us. Thank you. And how you was just a lazy wife. You didn't want to do nothing. He wanted better. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see him saying that, and like I said, fortunately for me, I don't have to cook. And because I did have to move home with my family, my daddy is the primary cook. So he cooked breakfast in the mornings for us and he makes dinners and stuff like that. I do understand my kids did miss my cooking and my parents, since they travel a lot, that's my opportunity to get in the kitchen and I can make some of our old vegetarian meals and I can make some of the things that we used to enjoy. But he's one of those people who really like thrives off of people like pitying him. And that's something I think that held me in that situation as long as I was, because even from the time I met him, it was like he had this sob story, and I just felt for like, oh, poor thing. I can't imagine, but he definitely thrives off of that. So I can't imagine how many things he would say. And he definitely felt like I was lazy. I can take some accountability here and say, I think especially towards the end, I definitely got lazy. Because it was like, what the fuck good is trying to be the wonderful wife when he's just going to keep on going out lying, cheating on me? I'm dealing and battling depression from every time I catch him out sneaking around with other women. So it just got difficult. It got difficult to give a fuck. You want to do all this cleaning? Go ahead, do it yourself. I'm the one taking care of these kids. I got to drive an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes some mornings to get the kids to school and daycare. You can clean up. I shouldn't have to do it all now. And that's where we talk about being a single married mother or these single married women. This is when I started really feeling it towards those last few years, like probably right after we actually got married. That's so crazy. This is getting a little bit personal, but you know, what was intimacy like with him?
Now,
I had to go there. I'm just curious. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Thank God I haven't eaten anything yet.
Oh my God. Jeez. Well, shit, I knew for all them years.
It was tragic. Let me say, and I was so good at faking it, like, and I don't know if he ever watched this, he'll probably be like, she lied, man. I had her screaming, man. She was hot. No, it was all an act. Let me go after that. It was an act. For one,
I hate that.
He's a one and done. I'm not a one and done. I'm young. I like to go round after round. I don't want to do no one and done and then we do it again in the morning before I go home. No.
Now I like multiple rounds because I'm actually getting multiple rounds. I could never for 19 years, girl. Oh my God. The faking thing, that's something I could never do. But in the last like 2 years of our marriage, I feel like I had to fake it because it was getting harder and harder to get there with him. That's crazy. But so you were faking it every time.
Yes, because, and then so after the first time I learned, I said, okay, I'm going to have to start bringing my little toys when I come over here with him because I'm not going to get what I need. I'm going to have to get there on my own. So, yes, I learned
now,
that.
did he allow you to use them?
This man,
or did you have to sneak?
Who finna sneak? What?
Because he it's like he hated if I tried to use them. You could see like when somebody is so uncomfortable with something. And so it's like I would wait till he just like went to sleep and I just roll over here to my business. And that was, oh my God, just because I always kind of felt bad. Like I didn't try to bruise him so much. You know, I felt like, God, that would be so emasculating if I'm like always throwing it in your face. I wouldn't do that. There was very few moments where like maybe we're breaking up where I'm like, man, fuck you. That's why you can't do this anyway. But the kind part of my heart was like, oh, don't make him feel too bad. Oh my God.
He never got an attitude with me using it. I mean, like he even used it on me one time, surprisingly, because first when he was doing, I almost said, man, give me my shit back because it's like he didn't know what he was doing. So at first I said, would you like to try it? So I gave it to him, and this was like my little bullet. Bullet. So at first he was down too low, and I'm like, I'm gonna say, man, give me my shit back because you didn't know what you're doing. So he got it where he was supposed to be, and then I was good. So most of the times I would use it, he would be asleep. But I have woken him up out of his sleep before, using it. But yeah, like I would fake it so bad, like I really did. And then it's crazy because at the time, because I love sex. I do. I love intimacy, and that's why that one round wasn't gonna get it for me. It's like I would be so mad. One time he pissed me off so bad, and he don't know this, but he about to find out now. So one night he pissed me off so bad. He came and picked me up, and we went to his house, and he did it one time. Same old usual stuff. Told me beforehand, before we were ever intimate, he told me he loved oral sex. But he loved giving women oral sex.
Okay.
He said he nice. Well, you too damn old talking about something you nice with it. Who says that? So the night he came and picked me up one night, and we at his house, and I don't know. I guess that night I was just like, I'm so tired of this boring stuff. Like this one round and you going to sleep. So I'm going through his mail trying to find his address because I didn't know his address. He would always come pick me up. And I go to his house. I mean, I know where I was. If something were to happen, I know exactly where I am. I just didn't know his exact address.
Right.
So I'm looking for mail to see if I could find something with his address on it. Couldn't find nothing. I was gonna dip out and leave. I was gonna leave his door unlocked. Yes, I was gonna leave.
Jeez.
I was so because it's like I'm tired of it. Like I'm young, and then I even told him one time. I said, I understand that you got to be 40.
Like that's so old. Get the
Yeah,
hell out of here.
and he looked when I said it. He
Damn, I hurt his feelings, girl.
yeah, it did, and then I had to like play it off like I said I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that was like the same old boring ass routine with us.
Oh
But
my
for
God,
the
girl.
physical sex, the intimacy, 5 minutes.
Maybe
It
2
was
or 3
straight.
positions. Would you even get that?
Dang, you got 3? I ain't even
On a
get
good
3.
day. Now he know he playing.
He
That's a
gave
shame,
He
girl.
would do the same position on me. He would turn me over on my side.
He's still doing that side move. Oh my God.
And I would just pretend like, it was feeling so good. I'm like,
Oh, I cannot get over this. You know, when I left, I think the first guy who I started dating after him, head monster. This man used to do shit to me with that mouth. I still think about him to this day. Like,
do he
I
got a
actually
brother?
tried to spin the block with him one time. Like, you know what?
Do
Nah,
he got a
let me
brother?
not. Huh?
Do he got a brother?
I don't know, but he moved back to Atlanta and it devastated me. But he be out here on occasion. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna have to go for that shit one more time. I've never had nothing like that before in my life. And so it's like once I got out there, because again, I was 18 when I met him and I was so inexperienced. So once I was able to go and test some of the waters, I was like, oh my God, like it all was so clear, like just how much I was missing out on. And I had this anger for for some months, like, damn, this is some bullshit. I was missing out. So I tell you, I think I mentioned before, so I'll be praying for the people who have had to deal with him after me and people who he still may be dealing with, because I'm like, oh, I know you're dealing with this. I know you're dealing with that. I know you're dealing with lying. I know you're dealing with the faking.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. But that is freaking terrible.
Yeah, and then it's like another thing too. Like I'm very freaky when it comes to the bedroom. I don't play. I'm very freaky, very freaky. But it's like with him. See, he would probably think in his head right now, if he think about to when we were intimate, he'd probably be like, "Man, she can't really talk because she was lazy. She wouldn't do this. She wouldn't do that." It's because with him, he didn't bring out that. He didn't bring
Yes.
out that freak in me at all. Like he really didn't. No,
It
so
does take a
different.
certain personality to really bring that out of you. And I had to learn that myself. I think I feel like I was able to connect with another Leo personality because I'm a Leo. And the two energies of us was like, oh, this is freaking fire. You got to be with somebody who's able to really get you open. And that's something I had to learn for myself. Like, and this is kind of weird to say, but I feel like I was always stuck in that young 18-year-old inexperienced space mentally, where it was very, very, very difficult to try to open up and do anything different outside of the routine. When you're used to doing something a certain way for so many years, it's very hard to break those cycles. And so there was times where I would occasionally try to bring in or incorporate games, or I try to wear lingerie, and he would yell at me. He had this thing with me like, you always overcomplicate sex. It's fucking sex. Why do you overcomplicate it? I'm like, I just want to change it up. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I just want something different.
He would yell at you for wearing lingerie.
Girl, he laughed in my face. Like, what wasn't that movie with Tyler Perry's movie? Why Did I Get Married? And Jill Scott, she came with the lingerie and shit. Her man was looking at her like, "Fuck you doing?" I swear to God, I had that same moment with him.
Oh
I caught myself trying to
my.
get a little funky blue wig with my blue lingerie, and he laughed like, bitch, take that shit off. You look stupid. And it just hurt my feelings so bad. I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. Because if I did this for somebody else, they'd be all up on my ass right now. But it was so like, oh my God, it should not feel so forced. It should not feel this complicated.
Did y'all end up doing anything, or did he just kill the vibe in the moment?
He killed the vibe, and it was awful. I mean, girl, I even started buying like sex games. Like I have a sex game. We played it one time, and it's like the game is called Dominate, because I wanted to start getting into like role playing and stuff, right? And so I found the game, and it's like dominoes, and you do all these little freaky things like I think you get handcuffs, you get feathers, you get a whip or a belt, and just depending on how the dominoes fall, is the action you do on your partner. And then whoever wins the dominoes game, there's a stack of cards with a bunch of different role playing scenarios. So I had this fantasy of like, and don't judge me, but just like, somebody breaking in the house like with a gun and forcing themselves, like taking it from me, right? And so we had just bought a bunch of guns at the time. So he came in the house with the gun, and I'm, like, oh my God. And, I'm playing all into it. But we had been drinking that night, right? Girl, he got so sick, but it just will always turn into him throwing up. It makes you almost feel like, why even bother? I'm not going to try this again. This is crazy. You know what I mean? So I still got the fucking game. I'm waiting to see who the hell want to play this game with me, because it's a good ass time. Like, role playing is amazing. And I just hate I couldn't do it in my marriage.
If you don't use it, you can always send it to moi.
Girl, I'm gonna use that game. What you talking about? Look, I'll send a picture to you so you can order one off Amazon.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, but it's a very fun game. It was just like the same routine for 19 years. So, and I'm laughing because somebody else can understand, like, damn, that must have been whack. Okay. And it was. I know you mentioned that, you kind of would find him telling lies. What's the lie that you discovered he told that was just like off the chain?
Okay. So the first night he came and picked me up. He was in his work van. And so when I'm outside, I'm looking like, is it? I know this. I know that's not your car. Like, I know it's not your car. Like, be for real. I mean, I'm not judging, because people, be in situations, you gotta do what you gotta do. Mm-hmm. He picked me up. We sit in the car, we talking, laughing. Me, as usual, I'm a jokester, talking, laughing, whatever. I asked him. I said, where's your car? And he was like, oh, it's at my job. It's at my job. And I said, so they just let you drive the company car around like that? And he was like, yeah, they don't mind. They let me use it anyway, because I be on call. And when I'm on call, I have to be in the company car. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, so what if you have to get your kids one night and you got the company car? And he was like, oh, that's no problem. I could just go to my job and just, get my car and go pick my kids up. So come to find out, the whole time, he never had a car. That was the first lie.
That's crazy.
The person I had the miscarriage by, their relationship that I was in with that person, it taught me a lot. I mean, a whole lot. But like I said, I learned something from each relationship, and it opens up my eyes to so much. I dealt with this in this relationship. This person was doing this, was doing that. So I'm on to you. I know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So, so I asked him, I said, am I the only girl you're talking to? And, of course, every time I would ask him questions, like serious questions, he would always turn it into a joke. Like, he could never answer nothing directly. If it's a serious question, like something serious, like adult conversation, adult talk, he would turn it into a joke. Never answer direct questions.
Oh, yeah.
That would make sense. So he did that. I asked him, he's like, I said, yeah. And I said, okay. I said, so why are you talking to me then? And so he gonna try to turn it into a joke and say he prostituting. He said he prostituted himself with old women to make money.
Oh my God. He wished, because I said, he used to fantasize about being single when we were married. And it would be like, man, if I was single back out in these streets, I'd have a new bitch for every night of the week. I'd be out here getting so much pussy. You can't imagine how many bitches throwing pussy at me every fucking day. I'd be out here fucking on everything.
I
And
just
I'm
wish I
like,
could have heard him talk like that because I would have shot him down so bad. Yeah, nigga, I like you, but don't get what mystical say. Watch yourself. Don't fuck around and get beside yourself.
girl, right.
Because it's like, and it's crazy that you say that you say all this stuff like he was this type of person, but it's like the person that I experienced is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he showed a little bit of it. I mean, he raised his voice at me one time. He was getting ready for work, and he was playing some music. And so I don't know what kind of music he was listening to, but I changed the song, and it was like some fast music. So I started, dancing. He gonna come tell me some, hurry up, I gotta get ready for work. And I looked at him like, bro,
The
don't,
fuck? Right.
right, like,
Relax.
don't do that. Yeah, so
Girl.
that was
Look,
the
if you
first
don't give him some
time.
more time, you'd have definitely seen more of the attitude and the real side of him, the real angry side coming out a
Now
whole lot more.
I seen hatred in him one time. I don't care what nobody says. Like I seen the devil in him one time when he was talking about you. It was during when your kids and you had went out of town for the holidays. This was during Christmas. I can't remember if it was before Christmas or after Christmas. But he picked me up one night and it was cold too. It was real cold. And I'm talking to him and it's like his mind wasn't there. It's like he was driving, but it's like somebody else was, in control of the driving because it's like it was nobody but God that night because his mind was gone.
Okay.
And I asked him, "Are you okay?" I said, "You all right?" I would ask him questions. He wasn't paying attention. It's like his mind was just gone. It was somewhere else. So I said, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" This man turned around and looked at me. It's like I saw so much hatred in his eyes because he was upset with you. He said you took his kids away from him on Christmas. And he was like, "My effing kids is in Connecticut and New York, and I'm spending Christmas by myself. I effing hate my ex. Yo, I hate her." I've never seen trick in somebody's face like that. Like I can't even describe the color of his eyes, like how it looked, because he got big ass eyes anyway, so that's already scary enough.
It is. I seen those eyes one time in court. We thought they was gonna have to escort him out. He looked at me. If looks could kill, I said I'd have bled to death on that courtroom floor. Cause he looked at me like
Oh my god!
you motherfucker. I mean, he was in there cussing. They kept having to tell him, listen, we're gonna have to end the proceeding. This is a legal court proceeding. You need to relax. I'm looking at him like, you need to calm down. Like, this is ridiculous. And I mean, because I came in there ready. Like, we got to address some real things here because, you know what I mean? Like, this our only opportunity. We just couldn't communicate for so long. Even now, we really still can't communicate. It gets nasty via text message. We have these little text wars back and forth. That day when we had to go to court, he was, girl, it was like, he kept calling me an entitled clown and you bitch. And it was like, wow.
In front
So
of
I know that
everybody in
look.
the court?
It was a court mediator. So if looks could kill, baby, I'd have died that day.
And I can see his nose to his face, all that flaring up. I can see the eyes all big, like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I would have said, yeah,
It's terrible.
y'all can escort me to my car because I don't trust him. But
I've never really been scared of him like that. At one time, his homeboys he was pissed off at one of his former childhood friends, and he sent this threatening message like, "Hey man, my ex-wife name out your motherfucking mouth. I'ma slap that nigga when I see him." Like, who the fuck gonna slap a grown ass? Like, come on, man, shut up. And I'm like, yo, that probably whoop your tall ass. I put money on him. He'll whoop that ass.
Did he ever see him?
Never ran into him. And what's funny is they told me that he always goes back to his hometown to get his hair cut. And I heard through the grapevine that he went to the barbershop one day. One of the friend's homeboys pulled up and saw him like outside smoking in the front of the barbershop or whatever. And the dude was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna snap a picture and let this dude know he in town." So when you snap a picture but you forget to take the flash off. So I think the dude forgot to take the flash off. He saw the flash going off. And he like jumped in his car and took off. Damn near peer rubber out of that bitch. So that's why I just don't worry about him.
So he probably would have got his issue that day.
Baby, he would have felt it that day. And the sad part is he's mad at the dude for the wrong reasons. Like he thinks that the dude is the one who exposed to me that he was never an A&T student. And little do he know it was actually his own family. So he barking up the wrong tree anyway. It's a shame.
That's him if he want to get his legs knocked off.
I mean, he can go and try it. Again, everybody's money's on the friend.
But I put mine on the friend too. Yeah.
And you don't even know him exactly.
No. And I let him know. He gave me my no. Of course, he tried to deny it. No, I didn't. You didn't get that shit from me. Yada yada yada. But yes, I did. You're the only person I'm with.